Setting up endpoint groups and AMT provisioning in Intel EMA web interface. Welcome to this tutorial, where we will guide you through the process of setting up endpoint groups and configuring AMT provisioning using the Intel EMA web interface. This step-by-step guide will help you remotely manage your Intel vPro PCs efficiently. Step 1. Starting point and accessing endpoint groups. Begin by accessing the Intel EMA web interface's home screen. Click on the Endpoint Groups icon in the left sidebar to proceed. Step 2. Navigating to Default Endpoint Group. Within the Endpoint Groups screen, you'll find the default endpoint group automatically created during tenant setup. Click the arrow under Actions and select View Configuration for detailed insights. Step 3. Viewing Endpoint Group Configuration. The configuration view provides information about permitted in-band functionalities within the endpoint group. You'll also find details about the selected AMT provisioning method. Click Close to return to the Endpoint Group screen. Step 4. Creating a new endpoint group. For a new endpoint group, click New Endpoint Group. Enter a name, description, and password. The password can be used later to change specific endpoint group settings. Step 5. Defining group policy and functionalities. In the group policy setup, determine the desired in-band functionalities. Choose individual functions or select all for comprehensive inclusion. Step 6. User consent for in-band KVM. User consent for in-band KVM is significant. Selecting this option prompts users for permission when using remote in-band desktop functionality. Note that the user must be logged onto the PC for this to work. The remote in-band desktop functionality cannot be used on a PC that is up and running but where no user is logged in if this option is selected. Step 7. Setting up AMT provisioning. Click on Save and Intel AMT Auto Setup at the top. Choose Enabled and the appropriate Intel AMT profile from the drop-down menu. Step 8. Choosing Activation Method. Select the activation method, either host-based provisioning, HBP, or certificate provisioning, TLS-PKI. The latter requires specific network conditions and an uploaded AMT provisioning certificate. If no AMT provisioning certificate is uploaded in the tenant, such as in this tenant, only host-based provisioning is available. Step 9. Administrator Password Options. For the AMT administrator password, choose between randomized and custom password options. Step 10. Completing the setup. Finalize by clicking Save at the bottom. The button will turn blue once your selections are made. The endpoint group that you created should be part of the list. Congratulations! You've successfully configured your endpoint group and AMT provisioning. These steps are vital for effective remote management of your Intel vPro PCs. Stay tuned for more tutorials on how to maximize Intel EMA's capabilities. Thank you for joining us.